Hello there. In a rare show of empathy and understanding, the BBC has decided to send an army of licence fee chasers after the over 75s. Firstly, please subscribe and like this video to give my channel a boost, and I'm always uploading new content, so please do check back daily. It is emerging that the nice and cuddly Auntie Beeb has hired some 800 licence fee agents to go after the non-payers, presumably also including the recently targeted for fees over 75 group. The Beeb claims that they have to extend the fee payment to the over 75s, as the 3 or 4 million or so over 75s households that don't pay the fee represents a huge loss to their business model. How can a group that has not paid any licence fee at all suddenly be a loss to them? How can you lose something you never had? They could argue that the over 75s are a growing sector of the population, but that's surely offset by the ever-growing population as a whole. Also consider, do more viewers actually cost the BBC more money? As they do seem to like providing the rest of the planet with a world service, don't they? But the BBC does seem to be engaging in this fee chasing with some unseemly haste, doesn't it? And it's not like there's loads of other people who can get a free TV licence, is there? As far as I can tell, you only qualify for a free TV licence if you're over 75 and on pension credits. And you can only get a discount on the fee if you are blind or in residential care. Anyway, this surely goes a lot deeper than that. There are now 3 main threats to the BBC regarding its licence fee, driven by 2 or maybe 3 issues. The first threat is from this Tory government, which has made it clear that if it is still in power when the current BBC Royal Charter ends on the 31st of October 2027, then it might turn out to be a nasty Halloween that heralds the end of the public funding for the BBC via the current licence fee system. The government is also looking very seriously at decriminalising non-payment of the fee, which would give BBC collection agents a real headache. It's so much easier when the threat of jail time can be thrust under people's noses. Hence why the BBC has suddenly suggested lumping it into council tax payments, which you can go to prison for if you don't pay it. You can be sent to prison for up to 3 months if the court decides you don't have a good reason to not pay your council tax, and if you refuse to do so, says the gov.uk website. There will shortly be a review of the BBC Royal Charter, and the BBC says on this, the government will carry out a mid-term review of the Charter, focusing on governance and regulatory arrangements. This review is not a full Charter review, and so will not look at the BBC's mission, purpose, or the method by which it is funded. So we may have to wait until 2027 for any real changes, unless the Labour Party end up winning the next election and we have a Keir Starmer, or more probably his replacement, in number 10. The second significant threat is this pandemic, or more accurately, the economic fallout from it. At present, it is projected that there could be a rise in unemployment of 3 million or beyond. These people will very quickly find that there is no new work available, and that once any savings they have are stripped away, they will have too little to pay their essential bills, let alone a TV licence fee. I've come across the odd thread on Twitter where hundreds of people are pouring their hearts out over them or their friends and family being made redundant as the Chancellor's new furlough scheme rules come into effect. And every day we hear of another company going into administration with the loss of another few hundred jobs. Today we have reports of 1,500 jobs in WH Smith now being in doubt. Then there's all the small businesses and the self-employed we don't hear about. And you may not know, but the moratorium on domestic repossessions ends on the 23rd of this month, just over a couple of weeks away. So it could be that the BBC needs to replace 3 or more million fee payers. Now where on earth could they get those from? Oh wait, those over 75s pensioners, of course. The third threat to the BBC licence fee is the Defund the BBC campaign. Social media is awash with people saying that they've ditched the fee and are now not watching live TV. And all because they believe that the BBC has shown a continual anti-British and pro-left-wing bias. Why should I, they say, pay £150 a year to a propaganda outlet that spends most of its time briefing against people just like me? And they have a point, don't they? And earlier in the year, the Times said that the BBC lost 82,000 licences in the 5 months to March. That's 550 a day. And there are reports that this campaign is growing, with higher figures being quoted more recently. Now we add into that a fair proportion of the over 75s who may well rebel against paying. The Express reports, corporation chiefs are scrambling to quell a growing revolt over the controversial move to make over 75s pay the annual £157.50p fee, which came into effect last Friday. An extra 800 licence fee agents have been taken on in a bid to prevent chaos and have also agreed to allow poorer pensioners to claim a free licence without submitting documentary proof. And it goes on to say, pensioners campaigners are urging resistance and had called on all over 60s to cancel their TV licence direct debits in solidarity with the over 75s and instead offer to pay with monthly backdated cheques. And Brexit may or may not be adding a little bit more of a squeeze next year. Now while everyone out there is losing jobs, livelihoods and businesses, so having to cut their cloth accordingly, or worse, there is one organisation that can easily maintain its income to keep its rich stars and presenters happy, by simply switching to a new, thus far untapped, source of cash. The more compliant, or so the BBC is hoping, over 75s. And the over 60s campaign group, Silver Voices, says that it defies belief that, as a second wave of coronavirus marches over the horizon, the BBC are doing this. But I would argue that is exactly why the BBC is doing this. At the end of the day, the BBC will be effectively turning off the central heating for many elderly people this winter. We live in a time when social distancing means the elderly are confined to their homes, leaving them with no social contact whatsoever. There is a huge psychological and emotional cost in all of this. And their television is a lifeline for these people and a way for them to see the world outside their limiting 4 walls. And therefore many elderly will go without central heating, or they will eat less just to try and afford the new cost of feeling less lonely. Yet the BBC think that keeping overpaid celebrities swimming in cash is more important than offering these vulnerable people some form of dignity in their old age. To all those celebrities on the BBC payroll, I hope you sleep well at night with your full bellies and in your warm beds this winter. To all the overpaid hierarchy in the BBC, I hope you get the self-satisfaction of knowing that hardly anyone relates to those television dramas you just produced, that may have cost an elderly person their ability to meet even their most basic needs. And due to COVID, the BBC has produced fewer new programmes and had much less sport and stuff to cover. So no doubt they'll be thinking up novel ways to justify all those expensive repeats over the Christmas period. So you send out your army of bother boys to knock on the doors of the elderly and vulnerable to collect their last pennies. All I can say is, don't you dare do another one of your politically correct and obsessively diversity-driven reimaginings of Dickens's A Christmas Carol this year. You may find the hypocrisy is the last straw that finally breaks the camel's back. Anyway, if you want to hear more from me, please don't forget to subscribe and also press that little bell, or you won't get any notifications. And if you want to see more of me, buy a mug with my mug on it. So what do you think about the BBC licence fee for the over 75s and all these people chasing them? Please share and comment, and thank you for watching.